Hello everyone, Happy New Year! Just having an afternoon coffee today. I hope the light is okay. I think that it is. I had a massage this morning which was just lovely, and it was so relaxing that I feel I need this cup of coffee to come and say hello to everyone. Did you have a nice Christmas? Did you have a good New Year? How's your New Year been so far? Where are we? The 27th of January-ish? Yes, Australia Day was yesterday. I live in Australia. And for normal people, that was a public holiday, but I was at work and it was very quiet. So grab a cup of coffee or tea and let me introduce myself. I just need a little pick-me-up. I got a new blend of coffee bean from my local-ish cafe. The cafe is called doesn't matter. The beans are called St. Ali and they are an orthodox blend. I was going to say Cafe Fred, but that's not true. It'll come to me. Hi everyone, my name is Jay. I am a knitter and crocheter and I have a YouTube channel. Here we are. And I talk about all things creative. I recently updated my name to Knits and Stitches with Stitchy Jam. I was going to re-say that, but I've changed my mind. Because when you have a new name, it's always harder for the person who's changed their name for the people that are viewing it. So let me just rewind a minute. I'm from Sydney, Australia, and I live at home in a house with my flatmate who happens to be my mum. I've been living back here and we've been in this share house situation for the last, well, it'll be coming up to 6 years this year. And I live with her and my two cats, Flash, who is white with a bit of ginger, who's the youngest, and Turtle, who is we believe part mountain lion, Norwegian mountain lion cat, if that's how you say it. For a long time we thought he was part Maine Coon, but we've had a look at his features and come to the realization that no, that's actually probably inaccurate, and he's more Norwegian mountain cat. And Turtle, and they're both boys and they're both quite large, and Turtle's the oldest and he's got a bit of thyroid problems at the moment. And Turtle and Flash is the youngest and he is just the baby, and yeah, he thinks he rules the roost basically. My pronouns are they, them, she, her, and I am in the middle of a ADHD and autism diagnosis. I've been through the preliminary part of the process. Oh, sorry, I thought someone was at the door. And I'm moving forward to the second part of that process. My interests are knitting, sewing, I do some drawing and art at times. I'm sorry if you can hear that truck noise. And I like crochet, although I haven't done any for a long time. Since I started knitting actually, which according to YouTube, which is when I started this vlog or podcast, whatever you want to call it, that was 4 years ago, so about 3.5 years ago. What else can I tell you about myself? I think it will come along the way. I changed the name of my YouTube channel because although I thought it was a good name, it wasn't quite long. And I decided that something a bit shorter and a bit catchier. And Stitchy Jam Knits and Stitches is the handle, and it's the same over on Instagram. And if you would like to find me on Ravelry, I'm Stitchy Jam. And I also have a Ko-fi shop because I make project bags for knitters and crafters, and you could use them for whatever you'd like. At the moment, I still have a few of my Christmas bags left, and they're up because I haven't had the chance to take them down. But I'm also in the process of making some Australiana themed bags for this year. But I'll come to that in another episode, because that's something that's probably going to happen to be released a little bit later in the year, and I'll tell you why, because a bit of a life update first, and then I shall move forward to talking about my knitting and what's happening with that, my sort of no plans for the year, and some sewing projects I have on the go, and a few acquisitions as well. So basically, and I'm really hoping in my last episode, if you're new here, welcome. If you're coming back, you'll know what I'm about to say. Last time I recorded a whole episode and my storage on my iPhone wiped the whole lot. So fingers crossed, I have attempted to clear my phone and I'm hoping for the best. So without further ado, I shall carry on so that we don't run out of space. And you don't want to hear about that anyway. So yeah, thanks for joining me today. It's been longer than usual because I've taken up a second job, and I put my juju out into the universe last year. And so basically I'm a barista and a food and beverage attendant, and I work in a 5-star hotel. I run the cafe in the hotel, and I do that. I used to do it full time. Now I do it 4 days a week. I'm also a graphic designer and social media manager, and I hadn't done any design work officially for about 2020, about 3-4 years. And I started doing a bit for the cafe, and I started doing a bit at work, and I started doing a little in my spare time. And because I enjoy creating things. And so I promised myself last year that I would pick up a bit of freelance work in 2026. Now that thought and that projection into the universe manifested itself, and my old work colleague popped up on my LinkedIn feed, and I didn't know that they'd started their own agency 3 years ago. And so I just reached out and I said, look, I'm looking for some freelance work this year. If you need any help, let me know. And she did. And what was starting out to be a bit of casual work quickly became a second part-time job. And the best laid plans, I thought I was able to commit to 20 hours there and 25 hours at my other job. And after 2 weeks, I realized I actually can't sustain having 0 days off work. And, you know, obviously as well, I had other people giving me their advice, which is always welcomed when people are being caring. and I realized, yes, okay, I do need at least one day off, and so I've done that. So Tuesday is today, and that's my one and only day off from from both jobs. And so it's my day where I can do creative things or sit and read all day, do a bit of housework, all the things I would normally do on my day off. But normally in the last 6 months, I've had 3 days off. Now it's consolidated to one. Which is also, I planned on the next sort of phase of my knitting and creativity anyway. But it's also part of the reason that I have chosen the path for 2026, on which I will be on. So like many of you in the community, I've been getting quite overwhelmed by the amount of really amazing projects and really amazing yarns and really amazing YouTubers, and everything is in abundance, and that's wonderful. It's really great for the community. But my brain was getting a bit overwhelmed with what to make and having too many projects on the go and feeling that pressure to keep up with the Joneses, so to speak. And I've had a little think over the course of the last few weeks and how I can build intentional downtime into my schedule, my new schedule, and how I can really be in the moment with my knitting and really embrace what it is and why we came to do it in the first place. For me personally, to get off my phone or devices, especially now that I'm doing social media work again, I need to not be on my device, doom scrolling, whatever it may be. And yes, of course, it's important to do that a little bit to get some inspiration for projects in this, but what I'm finding and what I'm hearing you guys finding, that we're all getting a bit overwhelmed, and what should be a slow, calming, relaxing energy is becoming anxiety and trying to keep up with everyone and you know, sort of overspending or over committing, whatever it may be. And so in that way of thinking, I decided long before I saw that other people were deciding this, that I'm not going to be doing a Make 9 this year. I'm not going to be having any plans for this year. I'm not even going to talk about, here's my 2025 projects that I knit on. And I don't want to do that for myself. But also as someone who feels overwhelmed from other people talking about that, because I don't feel good enough, or I feel the pressure that I'm not knitting enough, or, you know, and although that is just energy, and in reality, what I enjoy is what other people enjoy. I know, I hear them talking about it, is one stitch at a time. So my goal for 2026, and my only goal for 2026, is to really slow down, is to really be mindful about what I'm making, mindful about every stitch, being in the moment with my knitting. I'm capitalizing on the small amount of time that I have for downtime and making sure I'm making the most of the moments and the minutes rather than the months. You know, it doesn't matter if I don't have a finished project for 3 months, if every stitch is done with mindfulness and I'm breathing and I'm slowing down and I'm using that relaxing, slow hobby for mental health, for creativity, and really just being there and enjoying it. Because if you're putting too much pressure on it, which some of us, we have a tendency to do so. You know, I said I wasn't going to buy any more wool last year. And to be fair, I made it to probably, I would say the last quarter of the year with the Christmas and, you know, marketing and saturation of, you know, buy, and you do, and you get caught up in it, and we all know that people have to run a business, and that's great and that's fine. I have no qualms with that. But from a personal perspective, although I did stick to mainly a no buy year, I still did towards the end buy a few new things that weren't Christmas money from the year before, that weren't birthday money, that, you know, were... I didn't overspend. I never overspend. I don't overspend with anything, and I am quite mindful with what I buy. In fact, even the things that I did end up buying, I was mindful about. But also, I do like to support other creators, because as a project bag maker, as someone who is I don't know, what do you call it? A maker who wants to sell things, who wants to get a name out there, who doesn't want to be bombarded and overwhelmed that it's not bringing joy anymore, but you know, that would love to have some support from the community with the things I make. I also like to give that back out, you know. And I was very blessed that I sold... How many did I sell? Quite a few Christmas project bags last year. I still have a few left, but you know, I sold more than I did the time before, and I really think that if something brings you joy, at the end of the day, I'm glad I've made them and they're there. And I talked last year about starting an Etsy shop, but I've changed my mind about that. I'm going to keep with the Ko-fi, and I'm just going to let it happen naturally. I'm embracing this slowness, and that's slowness in knitting, slowness in making, and slowness in sales, and slowness in this channel growing, because I'm doing it for me, and I'm doing it for joy, and I'm doing it for you guys, and you guys who want to be here are here. And I'm really grateful for those of you who are here, and I'm almost at... oh gosh, I don't even know. I'm almost at a like rounded number of followers, thanks to Vlogmas. So thanks everyone that showed up for that. And it's all about, 2026 is all about taking the pressure off, having fun, slowing down, going with the flow. I've been waffling on about that now for about 17 minutes. But if you feel what I'm feeling, you know, reducing the pressure, being comfortable, finishing works in progress, having just 1 or 2 projects on the go, not overwhelming ourselves, being mindful about choices, and being really intentional. Yeah, so that's my 2026 intention and goal. And I feel like it's important to set those intentions and goals without making a make 9 and feeling guilty like I did last year, that I didn't really make anything that I planned last year. I maybe made 1 or 2 things off my... I don't even think I finished anything last year because I had too many things in my head and too many projects on the go, and you know, it was all over the place, really. And I don't mind that nothing got finished, and I don't mind that my plans changed. But I just feel that perhaps it's nice to not have those plans, so that I'm not feeling like I'm letting myself down, which obviously I say I don't mind, but there is somewhere in there where I think, oh, well, I said all these things and I didn't do any of them. And I think we're all guilty of that. So I shall move along now and let you know where I'm at with my projects. My Christmas socks are still not finished, and I am okay with that. What I'm not sure about is if they're going to get frogged or not. So these are the Gilbert socks. The pattern is by the kitchen sink shop. I'm sure she's Canadian. I'll put it all down below. And I'm using the West Yorkshire Spinners Signature Sparkle Christmas Mulled Wine yarn, which is beautiful to work with. And I have finished one sock. And as I mentioned, for those of you who have watched me make this, and now to you, new viewers, hello, welcome, that it's not perfect and there's a few mistakes in the front, but I was okay with that because it's still looking like a functionable sock. Is that even a word? And I'm okay with it because this yarn, although it has a pattern in it, unless you really look, see, this is meant to be there, but somewhere in there is something that I think I repeated the wrong line. And I was okay with that, and I'm still okay with that. However, I am now on the second sock, and this is where I'm at with it. And it's decision time. So I've done the heel flap and gusset, and I'm ready to move on to the foot. I probably will keep knitting it, but something in the back of my head is like, maybe you should frog it and make a different pair. It's not, when it's blocked, it'll be fine. Now, what am I on about? Well, as you can see, that's the front, and it's got this sort of bell shape because the back, that is supposed to be ribbed, 2x2 ribbed, I kept going with the pattern. So you can see already, they're a different shape. They're a different pattern. These are 4-ply, and I think I'll keep knitting them because I think that'll block out. And they're cozy and they're gonna be warm, and you know, it's that embracing those imperfections that I'm talking about. It's really hard to let go of not having it. And to me, this is a lesson. It's a lesson not to knit something when I'm talking to people. It's not a lesson to not have too many projects on the go that you're feeling, oh, I've got this pressure. It's a lesson in not saying, oh, I'm gonna do this in 4 weeks, ready for Christmas. Especially in the country I live in Australia. There's no way I can even wear these till June. It's too hot. I live in Penrith, which is the hottest part of Sydney. And yes, they will get worn, but they won't get worn for the middle of summer. So, frog or not frog? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments, because I am undecided. I'm sitting on the fence. Half of me is saying, frog them, they're not right. And the other half is saying, embrace, let it go. They're still gonna be cozy. It's still gonna be a nice sock. Don't worry about it. I can tell you though, that if I ever do the Gilbert pattern again, that I will use plain yarn, not sparkly Christmas. And my advice to anyone, from my perspective only, if you're knitting with the Signature Sparkle, West Yorkshire Spinners, any of them, I would only go as far as doing 2x2 rib or vanilla. Anything else you can't see, and from my perspective, is a waste of time. And that's my 2 cents. Now, anyone that joined me for Vlogmas knows I've also been knitting an Advent shawl. Now, the Advent shawl, of course, is built for Advent and realistically should have been finished before Christmas, but is not. I am, however, past the halfway mark, keeping in mind that I don't have a lot of time to knit. And now that I have let go of the pressure, which I did early on before Christmas, you know, this is such a relaxing, lovely knit. I have one error in it, but that will block out. And it's just lovely. So I'm using the Fiber Trek. That's a podcast. I can't look at my phone. Fiber Smith. Using this Fiber 2024 Fiber Smith Advent calendar yarn. There was 12 days of Christmas, and each mini skein I thought was 20 grams, but when I weighed it, I think it was actually 30. But I only need 10 grams per color on the Renee Strauss, I'll put it below, Advent Knit for 2025. All the information will be in the description. And I am over halfway now. I have started to repeat the colors again, if I can show you. And this is where we're at. And isn't it just lovely? Now, of course, it goes the other way around. So I've just dropped my ball of wool. Here we go. I started this 24 days, like the 1st of December, basically. And I am well and truly behind, but I'm enjoying every stitch and I'm embracing my slow knitting. And I'm, yeah, just loving it. And I think it looks really nice. So I've started the repeat. You can't really see it because it's on the needles. I've started the repeat of the colors. Very hard to show you. So when it's on, it's going to look a little something like this. Which is clashing a lot with the shirt that I'm wearing, but obviously you can get the idea. And it's just stockinette stitch. It's a really lovely, relaxing, easy knit. It's bringing me so much joy to make it. And I'm just doing one stitch, one line at a time. And loving it, loving life. I can't really tell you much else about it at the moment. I'll be looking forward to showing. Hi everyone. Oh, camera wobble. It's me, Jay. You won't know this, but I've been gone for about half an hour. My iPhone storage, I'm really struggling with it at the moment. I have deleted a whole bunch of apps just now, including ones that I use, because there's just no room on this phone anymore. And it doesn't seem to matter how many videos I delete. I have 3 terabytes of iCloud storage and 64 gigabytes of data on this phone. And I've just Googled it, and apparently the 3 terabytes basically is a waste of my money because it's just a backup. It doesn't actually affect the phone. Anyway, I digress. I don't know what I was saying. I think I was talking about my shawl. I will get back to that in a moment. If anyone can help me to get more storage on my phone without buying a new phone, please tell me in the comments. I think I have sorted enough that I can get through this episode. So wish me luck. And this is something that has happened twice to me now. I don't know what to do about it, but it totally throws me off kilter. And I was looking back, thankfully, the first half of this video saved. Thank you, universe. I thought it was gone. So yay, there's a little win. All right, center ourselves, breathe out. I'm looking very pale today still. I wasn't very well on Saturday and I was off work Sunday and I just stayed in bed and read, basically. So I'm sorry, I'm not sorry, I'm a little washed out. It is what it is. So anyway, back to this lovely, beautiful shawl. I'm doing it slowly, one stitch at a time. I'm really enjoying the knit. And I look forward to showing a little bit more progress. I'm sorry that I don't remember what I was saying before I got cut off. So I'm going to move on now. My cat Turtle has decided that rummaging around in this wool is a new fun game, and he's never been attracted to any of my wool ever before until now. And he just loves it. He just can't get enough of it. I have to hide it from him every day because, yeah, like he just goes nuts for it. It's very strange. So they're the two knitting projects that I have, the socks and the shawl. I do have a vest, Sally vest, on the go from last year. I have a second sock that has been attempted to be knit several times. It just doesn't want to be made. That will happen eventually. I have a unfinished pair of vanilla socks for my best friend whose birthday it is, 40th birthday it is this year, and I wanted to send them to her. However, I sent her daughter a Christmas present to the UK from Australia, and she still hasn't got it yet. It has arrived in the country and they want her to pay more money to collect it. They won't tell her where it is. I don't know, there's some weird thing going on, and so I don't want to spend all this time making her something and send it and for her to not get it and enjoy it. So I'm going over to the UK for 3 months in August, September and October. So I will finish them before then and take them to her. Right. I'm composed, I'm back. So this comes back to mindful knitting. Although I do have a gift knit on the go, although I have a few unfinished whips on the go, those things will happen. But I'm not putting any time pressure on it. My goal is to finish this shawl and finish this sock. And after that, we shall decide what I'm going to knit on. I'm not looking into anything new right now. I'm not looking at making lists of things. I'm not looking at anything other than what's right in front of my eyes. And to slow and to make things that bring joy. And if these things start to not bring me joy, then I stop making them. Because we all pay a lot of money for our wool, and I think that's why I'm a bit undecided with the Christmas socks, because they are full of flaws and they are imperfect and they are you know, they are a lesson in letting go, and at the same time that's wool that I've paid good money for. Am I going to love the socks when they're on? And I know once they're finished and blocked and on my feet, the answer will be yes. And they'll have a story behind them. But it doesn't stop that tiny part of me thinking, yeah, but you could unravel them and re-knit something and use the wool for something else. I'm just going to leave that and sit that there. And time will tell, and the universe will answer me, and it'll all come together. So from a knitting point of view, I'm going to share with you a purchase, because then I'm going to move on to sewing, and then I'm going to give you a little glimpse at what I'm reading, and then we're going to wrap this up. I am embracing imperfection, and that also means that when my phone conks out and I forget what I'm talking about, that's okay. So one of my local knitting hand-dyed yarn suppliers called Maker Moran, that's the logo, Maker Moran, has unfortunately decided to close her business. And as I was saying before, I like to support people, and so she had a sale on the day before New Year, so like New Year's Eve. And as I am on a no spend January, and I have stuck to my no spend January, I purchased this the day before I started that, which is a little bit cheeky, I know. but I wanted to help her. I wanted to support her. Lives not far from me. And I just think that that's an important thing to do. And so I bought 4 skeins of yarn in her sale. This one is soft, so they're all soft sock, 4-ply, 75% Australian superwash merino, 25% nylon. They're 390 meters and 100 grams. And you won't ever get them again. So whatever I make from these will be unique. So we have this one called Fairy Floss, which is this beautiful pink. Now for anyone who's from overseas, if you're American, Fairy Floss is cotton candy. And if you're English, Fairy Floss is a very good question. Oh, I know the answer to this. Fairy Floss, cotton candy. Anyway, you guys tell me in the comments because I'm having a mental blank. And this is a beautiful greens and pinks. There's some flecks of purple down the bottom here. And that's just lovely. Then we have Splendid Sock 4-ply. Same makeup. Now this doesn't have its name on here, unfortunately. I thought it did have a name, but it just says 2520. It's got a bit of purple and greens. And there we go. Really pretty indeed. And I think that they go quite nicely together. They kind of remind me of ice cream actually. And then a Bridesmaid, which is some purples and pinks. And some creams. And once again, I think they go quite nicely together. And I am a fan of Mrs. D, which I know a lot of you are too. And she made a shawl out of Neapolitan ice cream colours. And I can't remember the name of it, but I was thinking that this would be lovely to make that with. Now there is one more skein, and this is called Country Charm. And it doesn't go with the others. And I'm really not sure what to make out of it. Probably a pair of socks, but we'll see. It might actually be a good contrasting color. It's got some browns and greens and creams and light browns. It's more earthy tones than the other ones. I keep looking over there because when I was filming before, my camera was there, and I apologize, I'm not looking at you because I just realized that the camera's down the other end. Anywho, so that was my cheeky little purchase just before the new year. And now I'm on a no spend January, so I have to be good. And again, no pressure being good, but I'm being good anyway, because as I said, I'm going to the UK for 3 months, which is why I've picked up a second job, which is why I'm on a no spend, is because I'm really looking forward to my trip. So that's that. For all the yarny people that aren't really interested in sewing or anything to do with books, thank you for joining me. Don't forget to leave me a comment. If you made it this far, put a ice cream emoji, and yeah, let me know what you're working on. And thank you so much for being here. And if you are new, don't forget to hit the subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you don't miss an episode. For everyone else that's interested in sewing, I have decided last year, but finally have made a start, to sew the Bilbo vest by Thread and Yarn. I've only got a black and white printout, but I will put the link below to the pattern and to Thread and Yarn. I got inspired watching another YouTuber make one of these, and I think maybe last year, the year before, I really can't remember, I started making a patchwork quilt. And It's a lap quilt. It's all greens. I was making it for my bedroom and I was obsessed with green. And I still am, but I have added other colours into my repertoire. So this is the quilt. If I can show you, it's not stuck together. It's a very patchy patchwork. In fact, I started making this when I was house sitting in so pandemic was 2020, it must have been around that time. Maybe 2021, it was a long time ago. And this is it, unfinished, in a corner, and mostly the patchwork on it's been done. It's got a few more lines to get sewn, but I'm going to turn it into the Bilbo vest. Now, I've been umming and ahhing and trying to think, do I unpick it and do it separate layers, or do I continue the patchwork? There's a few lines to go, and then just cut it up as is and sew it together. And I think the latter. I think it'll be fine to cut out I'll read the pattern properly, but I'm going to do, you can do an option of one-sided. You can do an option where you have the ability to wear it reversed, like inside out, reversed. And I decided that if I needed to do it that way, I would need to unpick it all. And there's 3 different versions. One is quilted with a tie. One is quilted with button loops, and then the other one is unquilted with buttonholes. Now I'm going to do the second version, but I'm probably going to adapt it at some stage, because I am one to be more creative, and potentially I'll add on a button band if it needs it and do buttonholes rather than loops, but I still want the quilted jacket. We will cross that bridge when we come to it. So this will be the lining. No one's going to see it. And then this will be the outside, which is a little cray-cray, but I think it'll be just a nice, warm, cozy winter coat. Nearly stabbed myself. And yeah, so I made that decision a while ago, and I was umming and ahhing, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? So I'm going to do the quilted version. I'm going to potentially adapt it, and at the moment I've got as far as cutting out the pattern pieces, getting this ready. The next stage will be to finish quilting this and to take all these pins out and then cut the material out and sew it together, yada yada yada. So I'm looking forward to you guys coming on the journey with this. It's going to be nice and warm and cozy for when I go over to England, even though I'm going in, potentially warm weather. Even when I'm here, it's nice to have something cozy to cozy up under. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out. I'm hopeful. I think it'll be quite nice. I think once it's on me, it'll be a nice addition to my green wardrobe, which, believe me, has a lot more color in it than it did. It's clashing again with my shirt today for this film. Yeah, so I'm sorry that the second half of this video feels a little bit all over the place, and maybe it doesn't for you, but it really did throw me off having my phone do that again, and that's what happened to me last time. So yeah, if anyone has a solution to my storage problems without me having to buy a new phone, I am reluctant. Do I take TikTok off my phone, which is taking up a lot of space? The biggest amount of space is the photos, but the problem is there's 30,000 photos on my phone, and I have 3 terabytes of iCloud storage, and that works, but it's not working on my phone. So even though I'm spending a lot of time going through deleting things from that 30,000 photos, and a lot of them I want to keep, and a lot of them are rubbish, but going through like years and years of photos, I'm sure I'm not alone in this, is time consuming, it's tiring, it feels like it's never ending. It's another problem that we have with consumption. You know, I can't say that back in the day when we had printed photos that it wasn't an issue, because I have a crate full of photos through there from my entire life. And so it's the same problem, but the issue I'm having is having enough room. All I need is enough room to fill each episode. So an hour's worth of video, let's say, or half an hour, or I've probably waffled on a little bit too long in this episode. It's probably a little bit longer than I thought it would be, but it's the first one of the year, and that's okay. It's been a few weeks since we caught up. I'm going on and on and on, and I'm going to change the subject. So the last thing I want to talk to everyone about is what I'm reading, and what I'm currently reading. I'm reading the Thursday Murder Club, which I think I talked about in the last episode. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. It's the same book as the movie. I've seen the movie twice, so that's a really easy, light read for when I just need to sit in the bath and think about nothing. That's good. That's a nice one. When I was unwell on the weekend, I picked up this book. This is my favorite author at the moment, Jenny Colgan. I've talked about her with you guys before. And she, for anyone new here, she's a Scottish writer. She's got lots of different books, lots of different series. I read the Beach Street Bakery series last year, and this year I've picked up Rosie Hopkins' Sweet Shop of Dreams. And I am more than halfway, and I've only been reading it for 3 days. It is a really, really good read. It's very nostalgic. It's about a lady who is a nurse, auxiliary nurse. She lives in London. She's having some boyfriend troubles. She's having some family troubles. She goes to look after her aunt and help her with her aunt's sweet shop. It gives a little flashback to the aunt's younger youth in the wartime. It gives a bit of a backstory of, you know, sort of the aunt and how the aunt, you know, sort of got to where she is. And it gives, you know, it's a really warm, fuzzy feeling kind of a book. It's really reminding me of my nana. It's really a feel-good read, and sorry, my phone's about to die, even though I had it on the charger. It's lovely, and I really recommend it. Jenny Colgan's a really good writer in the fact that she can transport me from Australia to country life in the UK in just the way she describes things. I definitely recommend this. It's the first in a series of 3. Go for gold. Right, my battery is going to die. I have filmed 40 minutes of footage. I've had a little this kind of energy going on. I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm really grateful for you being here. I would love to see you again. I'm going to be back here in a couple of weeks chatting to you and catching you up with what's going on. I don't have a lot else to say, just that thank you for being here. I'm grateful. Welcome to all my new subscribers. I know there's a few of you. hi to everyone else that's returning, and I know I have said that, but I'm saying it again. If you did get this far, I want you to put a ball of yarn as the emoji, and yeah, if you feel like it, I would love you to leave me a comment, say hello, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. I hope that it wasn't too disjointed, and yeah, thanks for putting up with my technical difficulties, which probably don't even come across on the video, to be honest. It's more, like I said, it's more changing the energy for me rather than it is for you. But maybe I'm wrong, maybe it changes both. You guys take care of yourself. If you're having some health issues, which I know a few of you are, I hope that you're okay. I hope you're looking after yourself, and I hope that you're healing well. Sending you light and love and healing energy. I hope that everyone else is good and life is good and you're knitting something lovely. Tell me about it. I want to hear about it, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.